What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Wednesday. It's a hump day. May 15th, 2024. Hope you are doing well on your hump day. It is all downhill from here. So pour yourself something cold. I know it might be early when you're watching this, but the day will go by much, much faster if you pour one now. That's my motto. Anyway, check out the BuckeyeCast.com. All the good shit is there for you. The video vault, the shop, hats, shirts, all kinds of stuff. Get yourself something for summertime. And if nothing else, hey, support the show. Everything that we receive from the TVC.com goes right back into the show to marketing, mostly lap dances for the big guy, stuff like that. So anyways, hey, we're talking about the Jim Knowles defense. This is year 3 already we're going into. It's hard to believe that. Time flies when you're, let's not get into that. So how will the Buckeyes improve in year 3? I commissioned a study, which is to say that I did a bunch of homework. Yes, I know. You're welcome. I love you guys. Absolutely. I wouldn't do it for anybody else. So how can this Buckeye defense get better? Where are they lacking? Let's take a little look at where we stand now. The good. Let's look at the good. Then we'll get into the bad or not so good, maybe. Let's talk about it. So last year, one of the top defenses in the country, opponent points per game, we allowed 11.6. That was second best in the country. All right. The year before, in 2022, I got to do a search. That's never good. Not bad. We were 17th, but we allowed 21 points. That's 10 points more than 2023. So a huge leap there in points per game. Now, rushing yards per game. We allowed 121.3. That's 25th in the country. But before that, we were 23rd in the country. So didn't really change much there in the running yards per game. So that could be one area to improve, but 121 yards rushing a game is not that bad. Now, passing yards per game, number 1 in the country last year, 146.9. That was up, way up from 26th. We were giving up 200 yards passing the year before in 2022. So can't get much better than first, right? Now, total yards per game, we were 3rd in the country last year, 268.3. The year before, we were 12th, 321.5. So that's a huge jump of almost 60 yards, we'll call it. Math is hard. So last year, opponent yards per play. This is an important stat, especially for stats geeks. Buckeyes were 3rd in the country, 4.1 behind Iowa and Penn State. In 2022, they were a little further down here, 29th, 5 yards even. They were giving up 5 yards. So that's a huge leap in one season as well. Then red zone scores per game, 3rd in the country last year, 1.7. In 2022, we were 9th at 2.1. So that's a good jump, though, going from 9th up to 3rd. All right, so let's talk improvements, areas we need to improve, maybe the bad, I would call it, the good, the bad. Let's talk, some of this is risk versus reward. When you talk about some of these categories like sacks, turnovers, things like that. We'll get into missed tackles because that's one of the risks. If you're going for a strip on a running back, you could miss the entire freaking tackle and just slide down the stripper pole, right? Same in the pass game. If you miss, if you go for a pick on a slant and the guy catches it and nobody's there to tackle him, I'm sure you can think of a few of those plays in your recent history that we've seen. I'll leave that alone. Anyways, so let's talk about sacks and pressures here. The Buckeyes This is a huge bone. That's what she said. Didn't even mean that one. All right. Last year, the Buckeyes were 60th in the country. That's about right in the middle. 2.2 sacks per game. That's not acceptable, in my opinion. The year before, they were 30th, 2.6 back in 2022. So we've actually gotten worse in that area. What else? Takeaways. Let's talk takeaways. Last year, 122nd in the game, in the country, 0.8. We should never be 122nd in anything. That is pathetic. In 2022, we were 68th. So again, another slide. We slid in sacks. Now we slid in freaking turnovers. Looking at fumbles specifically, 122nd there too. 0.8 per game. 2022, 67th, 1.2 fumbles per game. So slide there. And interceptions, 120th. Sorry, I got a groove there. 0.5 interceptions per game. Yeesh. The year before, we were 49th with 0.8. So I don't know what happened. Maybe it's scheme change. I think Jim Knowles was maybe calling different defenses so that we didn't give up those big plays like we saw late in the season in 22. But whatever it is, where should we go here? Let's go national rankings. Let's compare the Buckeyes to national stats, national players last year. So looking at sacks, yeah. So the leader in the country in sacks was Jalen Green from James Madison. He had 18. All right. So he was first. Jack Sawyer actually had a good year, finished up strong in that Cotton Bowl. He had 8 sacks. That's good for 40th in the country. Okay. Not bad. We'll take that. Total pressures, though. Braylon Trice from Washington led the country with 80 total pressures. 80. That's nuts, but respectable. JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer came in 73rd. They both had 37 pressures. Now, 534. Trice had 534 pass rush snaps. JT had 339. Jack Sawyer 289. But still, that's not a good percentage of getting home. If you look at the pass rush grades, yeah, Jack Sawyer was 100th in the country in pass rush grades. He had an 86. That's a really good freaking grade. The best in the country was a 99.3. So got to get pressure. If you want to get sacks, you got to get in the backfield. Knowles has to give these guys the liberty and, unleash them, unlock the chains, open the cage, whatever, and let these guys feast on these quarterbacks. We got to do better than 120th in the fucking country. As far as the team goes last year, total, that's linebackers. Sorry. Yeah, total pressures. Yeesh. That's not right. Sorry. Again, JT and Jack with 37. Michael Hall Jr., 29. He's gone to the NFL. Tyleek, 22. At least he's back. Kenyatta, 11. In limited action, only 87 snaps pass rushing. Caden Curry, 11 as well in 97 pass rush snaps. So Ty Hamilton even chipping in 9 on 173 pass rush snaps. So the production is slowly getting there, but the fall they made from 2022 to 2023 in the sack area is terrible. Right in the sack area. Ouch. Um, let's look at picks, interceptions here, INTs. One second. It's a lot of people in the country. So the leaders were two dudes with 7 INTs, not a lot. So let's check and see if anybody from Ohio State was even in the top 200. No, nobody from Ohio State was in the top 200. So that includes people with 2 interceptions. That's a problem, I would say. We could look at coverage grades. Jermaine Matthews led the team, but he only had 100 snaps, 103 in coverage. He had an 88.5, which is 40th in the country. That's awesome. But, is he going to get more snaps this year? And where is everybody else like Denzel? Denzel's down here, 81.7. That's 148th in the country. IGB is not in the top 200. So areas that we got to improve, man. Let me go back here to our coverage grades on the team. Ransom, a 75.3. Hancock, 74.8. Proctor's gone. IGB, a 68.1. Got to improve that IGB if you want to be taken in the first round. And you got to cut down on the penalties. So those are the areas I'm looking at the Buckeyes to improve. You got to get sacks, get pressures, 39 or 37 pressures on a season, a 13-game season. That's not enough, man. That's like less than 3 a game. Pressures, not just sacks, freaking pressures, man. Jack with 8 sacks is good. Can we please get somebody to double digits? Year before, remember back in 2022, Jack led the team with like 3.5 freaking sacks. Yeah, you can't have that. And then the turnovers got to be taken. Hands on balls. I've been saying it for years. I love saying it. Hands on freaking balls, guys. Come on. I hate to risk missing a tackle or, a big play, but sometimes, it's worth it, especially against shit teams. Anyways, and the missed tackles. I did want to touch on the missed tackles because tackling grades, they don't give us oh, there we go. Yeah, missed tackles. 32 led the country. That was Jordan Stringer from Troy. Ringer. Nobody from Ohio State in the top 200. So that's good. Missed tackles. Yeah. Steele, he led the team with 10 last year. He's gone at least. Then you got Denzel with 8, Hancock 7. Your DBs are always going to be like the worst tacklers, except that free safety has to be the best. Ransom 7 missed tackles, Sonny 6, IGB 4. But those numbers aren't horrible. If you start looking at like 1 per game, that's an issue. You can't have that. So areas to improve: turnovers, fumbles, INTs, sacks, and then the missed tackles. So the missed tackles will give up some big plays, big time. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me in the comments anytime. Hey, let me know if there's any topics you guys like me to touch on. It's summertime. We can have fun. There's not a lot going on. We'll be talking recruiting, of course, as recruits come through the Woody and all that. A lot of official visits coming up in June. So we'll be touching on all that stuff. But if there's something specific you want to talk about, hit me up. You know where I'm at. As always, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.